Hello, ladies and gentlemen, I am PANCZASU, the mighty Mig Spammer, and this is, as I promised, Heroes 4 of Might and Magic Winds of War multiplayer. As you can see, my game against Gangster has reached its inevitable conclusion, and as we listen to Gangster's favorite music track of the entire game, which is the C music, which is quite frankly amazing, we can have a look at what is about to happen, which will most likely be total obliteration of my opponent in a glorious battle that will be remembered by us for the centuries to come. Now, just before I move on, talk a little bit about the battle and start the battle itself, I think I should talk about the previous attempts that me and Gameslayer had before playing this particular map. So, this map, as I'm actually going to show you, where is it, the scenario information, is called Unhappy Times, a very interesting and reasonably difficult map that is quite frankly amazing. I mean, it really is. It is very interesting. You start with 2 towns, the resources are kind of sparse, and I could talk a long time about it, and I do not have this time, so I'm not going to. But before this map, we played 2 others. In the first one, it was our first map in Heroes 4 after a while, so me and Gangster failed a lot. We lost our arms to neutral stacks multiple times. Sorry. And it was rather entertaining. In the end, I was able to totally annihilate Gangster, and I had tier 4 units when Gangster only had tier 3, so, you know, it was kind of one-sided, and we both decided that it is not worth it to actually record the said video. Now, what happened next? We played another game, which was very interesting because AI actually developed a sizable army that was even threatening to my forces. I said even to my forces because I was yet again able to obliterate Gameslayer without any problems, and yet again it was not worth actually making a video cast, which is rather sad, but this time, hopefully, finally, Gameslayer is going to be a worthy opponent. As you can see, this is a match of order against death. In the past I was always playing as chaos and Gangster was playing as nature and something I forgot. This time he plays as death, a very powerful faction with overpowered vampires, while I play as the order faction, which is known for having a huge amount of money. Why? Because we have the structure called, where is it? Called the treasury. You can see for yourself what it does do. Also we have our heroes who actually give you bonus to gold and resources, and because of this I am making a ton of money. Now I'm going to show you something I forgot to show you last time when I was introducing you to Heroes 4, called the Thieves Guild, which shows the relative power of everybody. A very interesting idea, because in other Heroes games it just showed you facts and stats. This time it's all relative, which I love. Because, you know, relativity doesn't give you certainty, and the feeling of uncertainty is actually what builds love in real life. No, I'm not kidding, that's actually what scientists told me. But no, from the technical standpoint, it is pretty cool. I mean, you can see how powerful somebody is, but you don't know why. So there's always room for intrigue and whatnot. But still, as you can see, I'm definitely in a very clear lead. I have as many towns as the red player, which is a ton of. I mean, as you can see, you have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 towns. That's a lot of towns. And Gameslayer probably only has those 2, so you can see right here when I'm pointing at. Blue player doesn't count, he's basically dead. I don't even know where he is. Income, yes, that's because I'm playing as Order. They always have the highest income, that's how they roll, and that's how they are supposed to win the games. With money. Money equals power after all. And armies. Yep, that's a quite big difference between me and my good old nemesis called Gameslayer. So I'm most likely going to win this battle. Now this is not where all of my army is located, not in this army. I have other armies, weaker, but still I have other armies. But this is definitely the bulk of my army, so, you know, I still have probably a big advantage over my opponent. So let's talk a little bit about what kind of advantage do I have. So when we look at this army, I decided to go for a composition in which I chose gold golems instead of mages. I'm gonna actually go into the city screen so that you can see where's my main city? There you go. The difference is I decided to go. So first of all, I had a choice between Golem Factory and Mage Tower. Now, gold golems are way better against necromancers than the mages. Mages have almost no HP and they are very easily killed, while the curses often do not even work on undead units. While gold golems, they are partially immune to magic and they are mechanical, so a lot of the spells that the necromancers have do not work on gold golems, which is very beneficial to me. Now then I had a choice between Golden Pavilion, which gives you Nagas, and Altar of Wishes, which gives you Genies. Now, Nagas are probably a better counter to vampires because Nagas do not provoke any retaliation and thus do not allow the vampires to regenerate. They also deal a hefty amount of damage, but I went for Genies. My single explanation of that is actually, first of all, there is a Genie recruitment station, or whatever you want to call it, right here, so I would have Genies nevertheless, and I do not want to cramp my army with useless units. And also, well, Genies are very powerful in large numbers, especially in conjunction with other powerful units that you may have. So, I do have to be very careful and cautious to protect them, but at the same time, I think it was a worthwhile decision because they have very powerful spells that still work on undead units, at least most of them do. And then I went for the Dragon Golems instead of the Titans. Now, Titans obviously an amazing unit, but what the Necromancers have, I'm going to show you right now, is a choice between either Bone Dragons and Devils. Now, I don't have anything that actually does counter Devils. They're very mobile and powerful units, and as you can see, this is what Gensei has gone for. And I cannot blame him, it's an obvious choice, because Bone Dragons, as powerful as they are countered heavily by the Dragon Golems. Dragon Golems are basically, as Gensei called it, the counter to all dragons in the game, which is more or less true. Black Dragons are still more powerful, but Dragon Golems are basically counters to dragons regardless, because they have first strike, they counter the enemy's first strike, and they have mechanical, which negates a lot of the effects that the enemy may have. For example, one of the key strengths of Bone Dragons is a fear effect, which does not affect mechanical units. So, because Gensei knew that I have the option to go for Dragon Golems which counter Bone Dragons, he decided to go for the Devils. Now, against Devils, I believe that both Dragon Golems and Tendrils work more or less the same, so it was a safer option to just go for the Dragon Golems. As simple as that. Now, as for my heroes, I have two of them in my army. The first one is a Monk. Monk is a special class that, is you gain when you have a big amount of both life and other magic. After you combine a decent amount of certain skills, your character actually changes his class and has some, bonus. Unfortunately, my bonus is a Chaos Word, which is not very effective unless Gensei actually has Chaos magic. Now, what do I have? I have a bunch of weak spells. I only have the most basic of spells, unfortunately. Only 2 levels of other spells and 3 levels of line spells. Not a very good amount of spells for a mage hero. I do, however, have the ability to resurrect 30% of my living creatures, which are more susceptible to, enemy necromancer attacks. So I can mitigate the damage I'll take in this battle by a little amount. I have a bunch of artifacts. Cape of Knowledge is very good for a mage hero, as is the Dwarven Hammer and the Ring of Health. Actually, Ring of Health is good for everybody, but it's good for keeping my hero alive. Cloak of Warding, same deal as before. This is pretty much a worthless artifact. This one is actually a little bit better because it makes me immune to fear effect spells, but I don't think that Gensei actually has them. And holds true, yeah, why not? All friendly attackers get +1 luck. Actually, I'm gonna give it to my more beefy hero, who actually does have advanced combat, which does give him some extra protection. Warlord, as you can expect, nobility and combat, and it gives you +5 to melee attack, which nobody cares about because I'm not gonna attack with this hero. He's just here for the bonuses he can give to my units via the basic tactics, via this powerful artifact, which makes all of the enemy units have bad luck for the entire battle, which is huge. And this, what I just gave him, which makes my targets even more lucky than ever before. Also, he's got a ton of mixtures to make him even more powerful. And that, as they say, is that. However, I also have this nice spell to show you what Gensei has. It's called Visions, and makes me see this. Okay, so the enemy has 9 devils. This amount, though, I have 15 dragon golems, so I'm pretty sure I can kill them relatively easily. Now, devils can summon ice demons. Ice demons are incredibly powerful units, so I want to kill devils before they do anything dangerous. Also, as the game says, I have the advantage against this army. Well, that was to be expected. Imps, annoying because they steal your mana, but still it's not a very big problem. This is the enemy hero, level 10 demonologist. He's got expert death magic and advanced nature magic, and he's got expert demonology. So he can summon Cerberus, a dangerous adversary, but not a terrifying one, which makes me very happy indeed. He's got 39 vampires. Well, I did have to defeat 100 vampires to even get to Gensler's lands, so I'm not really afraid of 39 vampires, but they'll still have the adversaries to deal with. 105 Cerberus. I can understand why Gensler went for Cerberus instead of ghosts, because ghosts do not work well against mechanical opponents, but so Cerberus were a decent idea and they do not provoke any retaliation. Venom Spawn, a very powerful unit, going to give my enemy a little bit more possibilities when fighting me, and they also poison everything they attack, very scary against living creatures. And last but by no means least, the skeletons, who are just here to be annoying because it will take ages for them to reach my army, and my bone dragons will kill them in a matter of moments. So, without further ado, I'll stop here. This was a very long introduction anyway, but I felt like it was necessary because it is my first time showing you a battle against a human opponent in Heroes 4, so I'll pause right here and stay tuned for an epic battle. I'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, the hour of judgment is nigh. We are ready to rumble. We had to wait another 10 for Gensler to finish buying out units because he did have his extra 10 before I was able to attack. So his army is a little bit stronger now. Let's see how strong exactly. Actually, it cannot be that stronger. I mean, he used to have several devils, now he's got a band. So it's a small change, but nevertheless, it's not gonna be enough, and I'm not willing to waste 2 mana points to find out what exactly has Gensler did to reinforce his army. So without further ado, let's get going, shall we? Alright, so let's have a quick look at the setup Gensler went with. He only has a fort, the weakest fortification you can find, so it should be very easy to break through if I want to do so. First of all, he's got a demonologist, and I forgot to drink my potions! No! Oh well. Anyway, he's got a freeze thingy, he's got a speed thingy, and of course the resurrection potion. And also he's misfortunate because of my artifact. Oh well, I forgot my potions, so it's gonna be very difficult for me to actually match his character prowess. But I should do fine. Now, devils can teleport to anywhere, which is going to be a problem. But let's start by waiting with my dragon golems and see what his hero decides to cast. Keep in mind, he only has expert death magic, so it should be relatively okay. At least I hope that this is the case. I mean, what are the most powerful tier 3 death spells I can think of right now? Animate Dead, that's a very powerful one, but he's got no death to animate right now. What else is there? Cancellation, so I'm no longer immortal, which is a problem because those devils will kill me. Yeah. Alright, that was pretty smart, I gotta give you that. Now, does Song of Peace work on devils? It will once I have them in my line of sight, which I do not. So, I think it's safe to say that my hero is going to die no matter what. Bad, but at least I didn't waste any potions. Alrighty then. Let's start with an illusion of Dragon Golems. Yes, and let's keep moving. Those guys are powerful, they'll kill a lot of things that come at me, but now I will lose my mage here. There's nothing I can do to save him, I cannot resurrect him. Suddenly Gensler's masculine installation and the fact that he had his stand before I did kinda got me off guard, but he didn't attack, he decided to wait with his devils. A very interesting choice, because now I can try and protect my hero a little bit better, though I don't think this will actually work. I can try and kill his hero though, so let's see if it is possible. Almost, 123 points of damage, that was fairly close. Now I could have moved my halfling a little bit further away to try and block the devils from killing my hero, but since they waited, I know I'll be able to get off at least a single spell with my hero, and a single spell might be all I need. And if I kill the enemy hero, I can just keep resurrecting and this will be fine. Also, Gameslay keeps attacking my illusion. That's interesting, because that's not necessarily what I would do. Anyway, do I want to steal the enchantment? What spells does he have on him? Freezing Speed and Guardian Angel. Does it steal all enchantments on a single stack? Let's see, because I don't remember this spell. Removes a beneficial spell from an enemy target and places it on a random friendly target. A random friendly target? That's not good enough for me. What else do I have? Power Drain? I might use that, but I'd rather just kill the enemy hero. So, do I kill the enemy hero or do I cast a spell like Potion of Immortality? I'll go for the Potion of Immortality. I did have to waste a 10 this way that I could otherwise use to cast a spell, but I want to keep my hero alive for as long as possible, and this way those devils are actually unable to do anything to me. Now, I know the enemy will cast Mass Cancellation again in the next turn, so I'd love to kill him. Can I use... Actually, I can kill him with this guy, but without him I will no longer have the access to artifacts and whatnot. Still, I believe it's worth it. Have some holy water! And actually he can just, yeah, stand back on his feet. I forgot about that. Oh well, at least I cancelled his revival thingy, so at the very least, and I cancelled his potions as well, so at the very least, Gameslay will have to waste a 10 casting his immortality thingy, or alternatively, he will just have to, you know, I forgot what I wanted to say, I'm sorry. Now, as you can see, I'm really doing my best to protect my mage hero from being attacked by the devils, and hopefully this will mean that he will actually be able to cast something else than just, you know, immortality spell next time. I mean, drinking the immortality potion, not casting the spell. And is it just me, or does it feel like this cast is not worthy of this game? I am not doing the best job, but that's because also this siege is not the fastest siege yet. I mean, as you can see, we both are playing kind of the passive game, afraid to go through the city walls. Now, the situation would have been different had Gameslay upgraded his castle to a, well, castle, which would get his towers. Now, in Heroes 4, the towers do not shoot arrows by themselves. And, oh, he decided to attack the genius. Not necessarily what I would do, but that's a very powerful adversary to deal with anyway. So, I was trying to say, castles in this game are actually fairly beastly because they allow Uranus to stand on top of the towers, and then they are very well protected, and they can also attack pretty much everything they want with a very high rate of success. Now, it is the final battle, so why even bother waiting? Let's attack with my Dragon Golems. 3 devils perish at the cost of 1 Dragon Golem. That's good enough for me. Let's try to kill the vampires with my other Dragon Golems. And this did not go as well as I had hoped, but it's still going okay because the devils are no match for my creatures. But unfortunately, I think I also cleared the way for the vampires to attack my genies, who are a very powerful unit that I was trying to protect, as you might expect. Yeah, 16 genies fall, that's a very big amount. But can I cast the potion of something? Yes, I can make the devils waste their 10, but instead I would like to create even more illusions. I could also cast the Ice Bolt spell, which actually is a very powerful one, and it could have been a beneficial idea to actually do this. However, because, you know, it actually casts an enormous amount of damage. However, at the same time, I think that it is a very good idea to create Dragon Golems, because they will take the enemy's counterattack away from the enemy. Now let's wave with the halflings, because you never ever want to attack a vampire with, oh boy, ice demons, it gets bad. But anyway, you never want to attack a vampire with a tier 1 unit, it's just going to make him stronger pretty much in every scenario. Alright, what kind of spell do I want to cast? Heavenly Shield only affects my hero, so that's not exactly what I care about. So instead, let us go for Death Ward on my Gs to make them less susceptible to enemy attacks. Death Ward basically makes, well, it is a Death Ward, it makes me 50% more resistant to death spells, and I also have increased melee in range defense against death spells as well. Now, my potion hero, what can he do? Cloud of the Potion of Restoration, I should have put this on my mage here, but whatever. Potion of Strength, Flag, Blinding Smoke, Healing, Quickness, nothing really is too interesting to me. Cold, Mirth, Immortality was... Alright, that's just a morale thingy, don't care about that. Like Quickness, Blinding Smoke, The enemy doesn't have a lot of ranged attacks, so I don't care about the blinding smoke. Strength? No. Despair? No, I'm finding the undead. Singles for choking gas. So I guess I'll just cast a spiritual ammo, which is a very powerful spell by itself, so might as well do it. And try to make sure that the genies survive for a little bit longer. I'm trying to protect those units because, as you know, they are very powerful but also very fragile, like glass cannons, really. Alright, Gensei does his best to kill my illusions with his units that do not provoke any counterattack, which is smart. I mean, you don't want to fight illusions when they can fight back, but if you kill illusions without them firing back, then actually you're not really wasting any resources. But in this situation, Gensei just sacrificed 83 imps to deal a very minor portion of damage. Anyway, now he tried to attack with ice demons. They have a very fierce and powerful ability that, you know, has a chance of freezing your unit into a block of ice. Very scary, no doubt about that, but nothing that I cannot handle because it only has a certain percentage chance to actually proc. Anyway, attacking vampires with gold golems is not the best idea in the world, but at the same time, they didn't actually counterattack, which is strange, but whatever. I'm not gonna, you know, react negatively to this. And I'm also gonna walk away with my halflings. Now they are gonna have low morale because of the enemy's potion. That's okay, because now I can also cast some other things, like Song of Peace, but there is little... Yeah, I can actually not target the Cerberus because they're not in my line of sight because of those pesky vampires. So what I'm going to do instead is either Power Rail on the enemy's hero, which is going to cost his spells more mana, but Gensei doesn't use a lot of mana anyway, so instead I'm just going to use yet another Death Ward, and this time I think I will target my Dragon Golems. And my fake Dragon Golems are just going to actually, I think I'll use them to take the counterattack away from the vampires while I still can. Vampires are very powerful creature, as you might imagine, so I want to, you know, deal with it as soon as humanly possible. Sadly, I also made it impossible for my other Dragon Golems to deal with it, which is a problem and an annoyance. So instead what I'm going to do, well, I could walk up to the Cerberus, but they don't have a range to me, so let's just finish off the enemy devils before they can do anything else. That would be annoying. Not the best use of Dragon Golems, but it is too late, and that's why you never attack vampires with tier 1s. Tier 1s are just food for the vampires, and that is that. So what I want to do next is, hopefully Gensei cannot do anything to my... Wow, okay, that was scary. He just did a mass cast, but I think now my Dragon Guns were not protected, which is annoying. What was though? My dwarves were protected, my genies were protected as well because of my Death Ward, and the gold golems because they're gold golems. Alright. Mass cast is going to be fairly annoying, but sadly there is little I can do about that. Just lost my bone dragons due to the Cerberus, so I think I actually do need to attack them in my next turn. Gensei still tries to kill my hero, or at least freeze him, and he does not have his immortality on anymore, so I need to be wary of that. However, the vampires used their counterattack already. So let's go ahead and attack them with dwarves. I know I could have done this with my bone dragons, but I'm gonna use my bone dragons to kill the Cerberus, because they are much better suited for the task. Alright, now you just go ahead and iceball those guys. 12 vampires perish, that's perfect, and you keep walking away. Somewhere where Cerberus cannot actually go, so let's say it's over here. And things are looking up. The enemy's main strength, which are the devils and the vampires, are pretty much gone. You just drink the potion of immortality for the future reference. Now this guy can actually slow the enemy units when firing his crossbow, but there's no way I can engage in a ranged attack anytime soon, unfortunately. Right, imps tried to kill my hero, they did not manage to do pretty much anything because of my luck, and now it's my time to shine. Sadly, what imps managed to achieve is block my line of sight again, so I cannot actually, I cannot cast the Song of Peace on the Cerberus, and in case you're wondering, Song of Peace disallows the enemy to actually attack, which is a very powerful spell, but actually not good enough, as you can see. Instead, what I can do is cast a flight spell on my bone dragons. It might be useful to move around a little bit better and navigate in this maze of units, but right now it's not gonna do much because I just wanna kill the samurai. Did a minimal amount of damage because I have the cast on me, but I'm still a bone dragon over death wall, so Cerberus cannot really do a major portion of damage to my dragon gunners anyway. So I lost so far a lot of Gs in this battle, but not a single dragon gunner has perished. Alright. Cerberus, I mean, against him managed to summon 17 Cerberus, not a very big amount, I mean it's basically a laughable amount, and he'll do better just continuously casting casts and whatnot. Alright, I think I have to accept the fact that I will never have a sizable force of halflings ever again, which is okay actually, because they slow my army down, not as much as gold golems though, so it's, oh come on. Alright, my hero has frozen so he's useless now, but that's okay. Anyway, I'm not sure if vampires have their counter-attack or not, but I think that now with the amount of dwarves I have, it is actually beneficial to attack them regardless. Because they will not kill enough damage to actually justify this, but I should have waited. I only killed a bunch of vampires at the cost of a lot of killed dwarves. Still, all vampires are now dead, which is what I wanted, and now I can continuously cast Ice Spell. Ice Bolt, Ice whatever it is. Who am I going to cast it on? The Cerberus, because they are the most threatening adversary now, with their no retaliation thingy and obviously the ability to attack multiple stacks at the same time, which is very annoying. Now, one of the creatures I feared the most in this battle, the Venus Spawn, was very unsuccessful in doing anything, because it only attacked my illusions and mechanical creatures. Now it was actually able to cast his, you know, how's it called? Poison, but, you know, it's kinda late. Anyway, the Samurai fell. Let me try and say this again. Samurai fall as the victims of my... Oh, come on! Cancellation really does go for Death Ward? That doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah, and the enemy has a ton of mana somehow. He didn't waste anything. Don't know how this happens. So I guess using the mana drain would not really be the best idea. Now, does the Song of Peace actually disallow the enemy to cast spell? Yes, it does. But I actually do not have this line of sight of this guy. Alright, okay, I can understand this. Let's cast the Death Ward on my Bone Dragons because they are the ones who do the tanking. Unfortunately, no, they will attack the genies. No, instead they... No! Get there! I will kill you! Right, so what he did is he casted my Restoration, Immortality Potion, and he killed my hero, denying the experience. Now he's gonna kill the other hero. I'll gain no experience. And he knows that he lost. He did this to laugh in my face and be extremely annoying while laughing. There's no purpose, you know, in him doing so. He lost anyway. This is his final army. He's got one town left, which doesn't even have a fort and no, you know, structures that can actually summon units. He's dead. He just wants to annoy me by denying all the experience I could get. Gameslayer, I hate you. But I'm not gonna kill his hero in revenge, not just yet at least, because I'm more concerned in killing the rest of his units. And, oh come on, I didn't even kill a single Ice Demon? That's annoying. Anyway, let's kill the enemy hero while I can. Goodbye. Now, Freddy Skeleton's not the most powerful fighting force in the universe, so in the end I'm curious how many casualties I actually sustained. I'm afraid I lost a ton of genies and against a more serious opponent. Yeah, I'm playing good guess there. So I guess a more serious opponent, this would be a serious drawback, but since, as I said, this is the final army of Gangster, it doesn't really matter. I mean, there's still Redbear who's got a powerful army, but I still have 13 Dragon Golems and 50 genies, and unless those... yeah, as I suspected, those Venom spawns do not actually have the range of my genies, so they couldn't do anything to me. Song of Peace to make sure that nobody freezes me, because hey, why not? Also, I can continuously throw rocks at the Ice Golems, hoping I actually do something. And it doesn't break the Song of Peace, because the enemy is a very peaceful Ice Demon. They are demons, but they are only misunderstood. I mean, come on, they just want a hug. Anyway, I broke through the city walls. Unfortunately, I still cannot actually enter them, which is mildly annoying, but oh well. I can fortunately kind of break the line of sight of the enemy, which is something. I can also finish the ice demons, but they will counterattack and kill a bunch of my dwarves, only 5 of them, which is not a big problem. And now, let's deal the final blow, actually the second final blow, because the enemy Venus spawn is still alive. And it is still continuously alive just to annoy me. Oh well, not for much longer though. Goodbye, you say. And as they say, I can mirror the opponent and my heroes resurrect. Now, does it mean they actually do gain the experience? I didn't know. They very well might, because they got resurrected before I entered the combat results. So maybe they will gain experience, and if that's the case, I'll be very happy. But before we do that, analyze this, let's see our losses. Almost 30 Gs. Now, I think that's not a big problem, because I have a huge genie gain. I gained them from 3 cities plus a generator. Those are 4 cities worth of genies production. It will take a while to get them back, but at the same time I also have like a bunch of genies already on their way to reinforce my army. I think it's acceptable. 204 halflings gonna be difficult to replace. I think I'll instead replace them with, I don't know, something else. Maybe the devils, if I can get enough of them. 2 bone dragons, almost nothing. 85 dwarves, quite a lot, but not a lot. If that makes any sense. And only a single gold dragon. I mean gold golem. And also I was able to resurrect a bunch of my units, which is nice. And yes! Game Slayer! Your trolling failed, because I can level up regardless. Grandmaster nobility, yes please. And a bunch of artifacts. Let's see what the enemy had. +1 crystal per day, that's very useful. Increase me heroes melee and range defense by 10, that's kinda okay, and that's about it. Wow, Gensler really had rubbish artifacts, I gotta give him that. But anyway, I'm pretty sure there will be no other final battle, since I was able to break the enemy's strength, and that, as they say, is that. It was PANCZASU, the mighty mix spammer, bringing you Heroes 4 of Might and Magic multiplayer gameplay. I hope you enjoyed this battle. In case you did, please like this video, maybe even subscribe to my channel if you wish to see more. Also, please leave a comment, because I do love reading them and they help me out a lot. Thank you for watching, and I will see you online.